Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive into Ben Mukoma's brand building mindset.
Yeah,
Today we're going to be breaking down some of the key insights from this book
right.
so you can start applying them to your own ventures right away.
Yeah.
We'll cover everything from building your brand's DNA
Ah,
to attracting the right audience.
that's right. It's all about, strategy and mindset,
Right.
giving you a solid framework
Yeah.
to build a brand that truly stands out.
Exactly. And the way Mukoma structures the book is super helpful.
Yeah.
It's like he's taking you behind the scenes
Right.
to create a killer show.
Yeah.
First you work on the foundation,
Huh?
then you get ready to go on stage,
Right.
and finally you figure out how to draw in the crowds.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of foundations, Mukoma kicks things off by emphasizing the importance of a strong brand name.
Okay.
He even goes back to the Bible for this one,
Wow.
highlighting how a good name has always been considered more valuable than riches.
That's fascinating. It really shows how this concept has stood the test of time. It makes
Yeah.
you realize that whether you're a startup,
Right.
a nonprofit, or even a local business,
Yeah.
having a strong brand is essential.
Absolutely, because a strong brand answers the key questions your audience has about you
Hmm.
before they even interact with you directly.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
What do you stand for?
Right.
How can you help me?
Yeah.
These are the things people are wondering when they come across your brand.
It's like they're sizing you up,
Right.
right? Checking out your website, reading reviews, asking their friends.
Right?
And as Jeff Bezos famously said, your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room.
Exactly. It's all about that gut feeling people get
Right.
when they encounter your brand.
Yeah.
And that feeling
Yeah.
is shaped by every interaction they have with you,
Yeah.
whether it's online,
Yeah.
in person,
Yeah.
or through word of mouth.
Now, I know some people might be thinking,
Right.
isn't the market already oversaturated?
How can my brand possibly stand out?
Yeah.
But Mukoma addresses this head on. He uses the example of different water brands all coexisting profitably.
That's such a great point. It highlights the fact that there's room for everyone if you have a clear understanding of what makes your brand unique and who you're serving.
Right.
You don't need to be the only player in the game. You just need to serve a specific need incredibly well.
So how do we go about figuring out that specific need?
Right.
It's got to be more than just guessing, right?
Absolutely. Mutoma emphasizes the importance of truly understanding your target audience. He uses the example of Gillette's success in India with the guard razor.
Okay.
They didn't just assume they knew what Indian men wanted in a razor.
Right.
They sent their team to live with potential customers
Wow.
and observe their shaving habits firsthand.
Wow. Talk about immersive market research. That's taking things to a whole new level.
It is. And the results speak for themselves by truly understanding their target audience's needs and challenges.
Gillette was able to create a product that was perfectly tailored to the market. It wasn't just about creating a razor.
Right.
It was about understanding the culture,
Yeah.
the habits, and the specific needs of their audience.
That's such a powerful example of how deep diving into your audience's world can lead to incredible success.
Right.
It's not enough to just create a great product. You have to connect with the people you're serving on a deeper level.
Exactly. Now, here's a thought-provoking exercise that Mukoma suggests, writing your brand's obituary.
Wait, hold on a second. An obituary. That sounds a bit morbid, don't you think?
I know it might sound strange at first, but it's actually a brilliant way to clarify your long-term vision.
Yeah.
Imagine it's 25 years from now,
Okay.
and your brand is shutting down.
Okay.
What impact do you want it to have had on the world?
Right.
What would people be saying about it?
Okay, I see where you're going with this. It's not about actually dying.
Right.
It's about defining your legacy. What do you want to be remembered for?
It forces you to think about the big picture, your ultimate why. What problem are you solving?
Yeah.
What positive change are you bringing to the world?
It's like looking back on your life and asking yourself, did I make a difference?
Yeah.
And if you haven't,
Right?
what can you change right now to ensure that you do? I think that's incredibly powerful.
It is. And I know you're a big fan of learning from successful entrepreneurs through podcasts and books.
Oh, yeah?
This exercise can be a great way to synthesize those lessons and apply them to your own brand's journey.
That's so true. I'm constantly inspired by the stories of people who have built incredible brands from the ground up. It shows that even if you don't have a direct example in your specific niche,
Right.
you can become that example for others.
Absolutely. It's about taking those nuggets of wisdom from different sources
Yeah.
and weaving them together with your own unique vision to create something truly special.
But here's the thing. It's not enough to just have a vision, right?
Right.
You need the right systems in place to actually make it happen. Mukoma compares it to the difference between a Lamborghini and a Toyota Vitz engine.
I love that analogy. You might have a Lamborghini vision,
Right?
but without the right systems,
Yeah.
you'll be stuck with a Vitz engine. It's about setting up those behind-the-scenes structures
Right.
that will enable growth, efficiency, and a consistent brand experience.
So it's like having a beautiful storefront is great.
Right.
But what about the inventory management?
Yeah.
The customer service protocols,
Uh-huh.
the financial systems, all of those things need to be running smoothly behind the scenes.
Exactly. It's about creating a solid foundation that can support your brand's growth. Think about how you organize your workspace,
Yeah.
how you handle customer inquiries,
Right.
who your key partners are. All of these elements contribute to the overall brand experience.
It's like having all the ingredients for a delicious meal, but not knowing how to cook them.
Right.
You need the recipe, the process, the step-by-step instructions to bring it all together.
You got it. And that's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just plan and dream. You have to take action. Mukoma is all about moving beyond the planning stage and actually getting things done.
So no more sitting on the sidelines,
Yeah.
right? It's time to get in the game and start building something amazing.
And that's where the next part of the book comes in. It's all about crafting a compelling brand experience. Remember, we're moving from behind the scenes,
Right.
building that strong foundation,
Yeah.
and now stepping onto the stage, ready to make a lasting impression.
Because it's more than just having a great product or service.
Right.
It's about connecting with your audience on a deeper level.
Yes,
It's about building a relationship that feels authentic and meaningful.
exactly. And Mukoma lays out a really helpful framework for this
Okay.
with his 5 Ps of a brand.
Okay.
Purpose, promise, principles,
Gotcha.
personality, and proof.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Break those down for me. How can we actually put these 5 Ps into action?
Your purpose, as we touched on earlier with the brand obituary exercise,
Right.
is your big why.
Yeah.
What positive change do you want to bring to the world?
Yeah.
What problem are you passionate about solving?
So purpose is all about the impact you want to make,
Yes.
the legacy you want to leave behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your promise, on the other hand,
Okay.
is the specific solution you're offering to your audience's problem.
Right.
What need are you fulfilling?
Yeah.
What pain point are you alleviating?
Like the value proposition, right?
Exactly.
What makes your brand the best choice for your target audience?
Exactly. Now, principles
Okay.
are your non-negotiables,
Okay.
your core values.
Gotcha.
These are the guiding beliefs that shape every decision you make and every action you take.
So principles are about staying true to your brand's identity,
Yes.
even when faced with difficult choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Personality is all about how you communicate and interact with your audience.
Okay.
Are you professional and authoritative,
Yeah.
playful and approachable, quirky and unconventional? Your brand's personality should reflect who you are and what you stand for.
So personality is about letting your brand's character shine through.
Yeah.
It's what makes you relatable and memorable.
Exactly. And finally, proof
Mhm.
is about backing up your claims with evidence. This could be testimonials from satisfied customers,
Right?
case studies showcasing successful results,
Uh-huh.
data points highlighting your impact,
Right.
or even just a clear demonstration of your expertise.
Proof is all about showing, not just telling, right?
Yes.
It's about giving your audience tangible reasons to believe in what you're saying.
You got it.
Uh.
So we have purpose, promise, principles, personality, and proof. 5 powerful elements that work together to create a cohesive and compelling brand experience.
Now I'm sensing a but coming.
Okay.
There's always a catch, right?
Well, it's not so much a catch as a crucial point of emphasis.
Okay.
Mukoma really stresses that consistency is key
Right.
when it comes to branding.
Okay.
Your messaging, your visuals,
Yeah.
your tone of voice,
Right.
your customer service, all of these elements need to feel aligned, and consistent across every touch point.
That makes sense. If your branding is all over the place, it's going to be hard for people to understand what you're all about. It's like going to a restaurant where the menu is a confusing jumble of different cuisines.
Yeah.
You're not sure what to expect,
Yeah.
and it makes you less likely to want to come back.
Exactly. Mukoma uses this great analogy of 63 ways to cook a potato.
Okay.
Even with a limited color palette, he says.
Okay.
There are endless ways to get creative and make your brand stand out. It's about using the elements you have strategically and consistently.
So it's not about having a million different colors and fonts and logos. It's about choosing a few key elements that represent your brand well and then using them consistently across all of your communications.
Right. And that brings us to another important aspect of branding, color psychology.
Okay.
Mukoma cites some interesting statistics from Interbrand, showing how certain colors evoke specific emotions.
Okay.
For example, blue is often associated with trust and dependability,
Right.
while red conveys energy and excitement.
That's so true. I've definitely noticed that certain brands gravitate towards certain colors. It's like each color has its own personality and vibe.
Exactly. And like a good spice mix,
Yeah.
the right combination of colors can create a unique flavor for your brand.
So it's not just about picking a color you like. It's about choosing colors that align with your brand's message and personality.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any resources you recommend for finding those perfect color combinations?
There are some great tools out there like Peloton and Coolers that can help you explore different color palettes and see how they work together.
Mhm.
But remember,
Oh,
even the most stunning visuals won't have much impact if you don't choose the right typography.
oh, I know this firsthand. I once spent hours designing a flyer,
Mm-hmm.
only to realize later that the font I had chosen made it almost impossible to read.
Oh, no.
I had to start all over again. It was a major lesson learned.
That's a great example of how typography can make or break your brand's communication.
All right.
The fonts you choose
Right.
can convey so much about your brand's personality and tone of voice. Think about the difference between a classic serif font and a modern sans serif font.
Oh, yeah.
They evoke entirely different feelings, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between wearing a tailored suit and a pair of ripped jeans. Each outfit sends a different message,
Yes.
even though they're both clothes.
Exactly. So we've talked about the 5 Ps of a brand,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of consistency,
Right.
color psychology, and typography. These are all crucial elements of crafting a compelling brand experience.
Yeah.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to address:
Okay.
attracting and keeping an audience.
Because even the most beautifully designed website or perfectly crafted marketing materials won't do much good if no one sees them, right?
Exactly. It's time to shift our focus to the audience.
Okay.
We've built the foundation, we've set the stage, and now we need to draw in the crowd.
And that's where the real magic happens, right?
Yes.
Connecting with your audience, building relationships, and creating a community around your brand, it's what makes all the hard work worthwhile.
Absolutely. And Mukoma offers some valuable insights on how to do this effectively.
Okay.
He emphasizes the importance of authenticity,
Okay.
encouraging you to be real and genuine in your interactions with your audience.
So no more hiding behind a corporate facade, right?
Right.
People want to connect with real people, not just brands.
Yes,
They want to see the heart and soul behind the business.
exactly. And that means being willing to show your struggles as well as your successes.
Right.
It's about being vulnerable and relatable,
Yeah.
letting people see that you're human, just like them.
I think that's what makes some brands so appealing. They're not afraid to be themselves.
Right.
And that makes them feel more authentic and trustworthy. It's like they're inviting you into their world, not just trying to sell you something.
You're right. And that sense of connection is what builds loyalty
Yeah.
and creates long-lasting relationships.
Okay, so we need to be authentic.
Right.
But how do we actually get our brand in front of the right people?
Right.
How do we find our audience and make sure they see what we have to offer?
That's where things get strategic.
Okay.
Remember that analogy I mentioned earlier
Yeah.
about fishermen going out at night?
Yes. It's all about knowing where your audience hangs out and when they're most receptive to your message.
Exactly. Mukoma stresses that it's about being in the right place at the right time.
Right.
Just like those fishermen casting their nets where the fish are most likely to bite.
Yeah.
In the brand building world, that translates to understanding your audience's habits,
Right.
preferences,
Yeah.
and the platforms they frequent.
So it's not just about shouting your message from the rooftops.
Right.
It's about strategically positioning yourself where your audience is most likely to see and hear you.
You got it. And just like catching a fish, attracting your audience is just the first step. You need to keep them engaged,
Yeah.
provide value,
Uh-huh.
and nurture that relationship over time.
So customer retention is all about making sure they don't get away, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about using the right bait to
Mhm.
attract them and the right thread to keep them on the hook.
Gotcha.
In branding terms,
Okay.
that means crafting a compelling message,
Right.
offering a consistently excellent experience,
Uh-huh.
and building a community that feels supportive and engaging.
So it's like creating an ecosystem where your audience feels valued,
Yes.
understood, and
Yeah.
appreciated. They want to keep coming back because they know they're going to get something meaningful out of the experience.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Now, a key part of building that strong relationship with your audience is listening to their feedback and being willing to adapt accordingly. Mukoma points to the current popularity of TikTok
Okay.
as a prime example of this.
TikTok is definitely a masterclass in staying ahead of the curve and catering to what your audience wants. They're constantly evolving based on user preferences,
Yes.
which is a big part of their success.
Exactly. It's about keeping your finger on the pulse,
Right.
understanding what's resonating with your audience,
Yeah.
and being willing to experiment and try new things.
Look at dance, right?
Yeah.
You have to stay in tune with your partner and be willing to adjust your steps as the music changes.
Perfect analogy. And that brings us to another important concept that Mukoma highlights,
Okay.
the platinum rule.
Okay, I'm familiar with the golden rule.
Yeah.
Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
But what's the platinum rule all about?
The platinum rule takes it a step further.
Mm.
Treat others how they want to be treated.
Okay.
It's about putting your audience at the center of everything you do,
Okay.
understanding their unique needs and preferences,
Right.
and tailoring your approach accordingly.
So it's not about projecting your own desires onto your audience.
Right.
It's about truly understanding their perspective and meeting them where they are.
You got it. And this applies to everything from the language you use in your marketing materials to the customer service experience you provide.
Now, I know there's a lot of talk about the power of free marketing these days,
Right.
especially with social media.
Yeah.
But Mukoma doesn't shy away from discussing the importance of investing
Yeah.
in brand building and marketing.
He does. In fact, he shares a great anecdote about a successful street vendor who was plowing a significant portion of his earnings back into his business.
Okay.
It seemed counterintuitive to some,
Right.
but it ultimately paid off in a big way.
It's like that saying, you have to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
It's true, you can't expect to grow your brand without investing in the resources that will help you reach your goals.
And that investment can take many forms,
Right.
from hiring the right people
Mm-hmm.
to creating high-quality content
Right.
to running targeted ad campaigns.
Yeah.
It's all about finding what works for your brand and your budget.
So it's not about throwing money at the problem. It's about being strategic and making smart investments that will move the needle forward.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the importance of building a solid foundation, which Mukoma emphasizes as a crucial role of the founder.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
Yeah.
How does a founder go about building that solid foundation for their brand?
It's about establishing clear systems,
Okay.
processes, and values that will guide the brand's growth. It's about assembling a team you trust and empowering them to take ownership of their roles.
So it's about creating a structure that can support the brand's vision,
Right.
even as it scales and evolves over time.
Exactly. It's like building a house. You need a strong foundation to support the weight of the walls,
Right.
the roof,
Yeah.
and everything else that goes on top of it.
Right.
Without a solid foundation,
Right.
the whole structure is at risk of collapsing.
That's a great analogy, and it highlights the importance of thinking long-term when building a brand. It's not just about quick wins or short-term gains.
Right.
It's about creating something that can stand the test of time.
Exactly. And as your brand grows and gains traction,
Right.
Mukoma points out an inevitable truth.
Uh-oh.
You're going to be copied.
Oh, yeah. That's always a fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing someone else come along and try to replicate what you've built?
It is. But Mukoma offers a surprisingly refreshing perspective on this. Instead of viewing it as a threat,
Okay.
he encourages you to embrace it as a sign that you're on the right track.
Okay, I like that. It's like saying imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. If someone is trying to copy you,
Right.
it means you're doing something right.
Exactly. And the key is to stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
Keep innovating.
Yeah.
Keep evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
So it's not about getting complacent or resting on your laurels.
Right?
It's about constantly pushing yourself to do better, be better, and create something truly unique and valuable.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final part of the book, where Mukoma shares some valuable insights from his own experience building his branding agency, Kenny Graphic.
Okay, I'm all ears. What can we learn from his journey? What are some of the key takeaways he's gleaned along the way?
He shares some fascinating insights from their Instagram posts,
Okay.
diving deeper into specific topics,
Okay.
like choosing the right logo type,
Uh-huh.
crafting a memorable brand name,
Right.
and gaining brand awareness through strategic marketing.
I love how he's using social media to share his knowledge and expertise. It's a great way to connect with a wider audience and provide value beyond just client work.
Absolutely. One of the things that really struck me was his post about the importance of building trust,
Okay.
especially in today's world where trust seems to be increasingly scarce.
That's so true. It feels like every day there's a new scandal or breach of trust.
Right.
It's hard to know who to believe anymore.
Exactly. And that's why building trust is more important than ever for brands. Mukoma emphasizes that it's not just about saying the right things.
Right.
It's about consistently delivering on your promises and showing your audience that you genuinely care about their needs.
Actions speak louder than words.
Right.
Right? It's about walking the talk and proving that you're worthy of your audience's trust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also highlights the importance of understanding your audience's preferences and adapting your strategy accordingly. Remember the platinum rule.
Yes. Treat others how they want to be treated. It all comes back to that, doesn't it?
Right.
It's about putting your audience at the center of everything you do and making sure your brand resonates with their values and desires.
You got it. And that brings us to one of the most surprising things I learned from Kenyan Graphics Instagram.
Okay, you've got me intrigued. What is it?
They intentionally send potential clients to free logo makers.
Wait, what? Why would they do that? Isn't that sending business away?
It might seem counterintuitive, but it's actually a brilliant strategy. Mukoma explains that it helps them filter out clients who aren't a good fit and reduces the time they spend on negotiations.
So it's like a screening process,
Correct.
helping them attract clients who are serious about investing in their brand and understand the value of professional design.
Exactly. It's a clever way to weed out the tire kickers and focus on serving their ideal clients.
That's a great takeaway. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unconventional strategies can be the most effective. It's about thinking outside the box and finding creative ways to achieve your goals.
Absolutely. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground today, but there's one final message from Mukoma that I want to leave you with.
Okay, what is it?
He says, it's your time to build a brand.
Oh, wow.
He's giving you the tools,
Yeah.
the insights,
Uh-huh.
and the inspiration. Now it's up to you to take action and make your vision a reality.
That's a powerful message. It's a reminder that we all have the power to create something amazing. It's just a matter of taking that first step and putting in the work.
I love that. It's such an empowering message. He's not just giving us information. He's giving us permission to go out there and make our mark on the world.
Exactly. And I think one of the best ways to do that is by learning from both successes and failures,
Right.
even those that aren't our own. Speaking of which, one of Kenyan Graphics' Instagram posts that really resonated with me was their analysis of the Netflix Whickster debacle.
Oh, yeah, that was a PR disaster. I remember when they tried to split their DVD rental and streaming services.
Right. And Mukoma breaks down why it was such a failure, highlighting how the name was confusing, the pricing was off,
Yeah.
and the whole rollout was just a mess. They didn't seem to consider how their customers would react to such a drastic change.
It's a classic example of how even a giant like Netflix can stumble when they don't listen to their audience and prioritize a clear,
Yeah.
consistent brand experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It underscores the importance of thoughtful planning and clear communication, especially when making significant changes to your brand or offerings.
Right. That whole situation really emphasized how a brand name is more than just a catchy phrase.
Right.
It carries the weight of the entire company and its reputation.
Exactly. It's the first impression,
Oh,
the
yeah.
face of your brand,
Yeah.
and it needs to be carefully considered.
No cadavers allowed, right? We can learn from Jeff Bezos' near miss with that one.
Definitely. Now, another post from Kenyan Graphic that really resonated with me was their discussion of building trust,
Okay.
especially for organizations like churches, NGOs,
Right.
and even governments.
It's true. It seems like trust in institutions is at an all-time low.
Yeah,
There's so much skepticism and cynicism out there.
it's a challenging landscape, for sure. And Mukoma stresses that building trust in this environment is crucial for any brand,
Right.
but especially for those that rely heavily on public perception and support.
So how do they suggest going about building that trust? It feels like such a fragile thing these days.
Well, they emphasize that it's not just about saying the right things or putting out a polished image.
Right.
It's about consistently delivering on your promises,
Yeah.
being transparent in your actions,
Right.
and showing your audience that you genuinely care about their needs and concerns.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah,
People can see through empty promises and superficial gestures.
exactly. Authenticity and integrity are paramount in building trust. And as we talked about earlier,
Right.
it's about applying the platinum rule,
Right.
treating others how they want to be treated,
Right.
not just how you want to be treated.
That's such a key point. It's about empathy, understanding,
Right.
and meeting people where they are. It's about putting their needs and preferences first.
Absolutely. And, I think it's important to remember that building a brand isn't always about big,
Right.
flashy campaigns or expensive marketing tactics. Sometimes it's about the simple,
Yeah.
everyday things that show you care.
Like what? Give me an example.
Mukoma talks about his local produce vendor,
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
who consistently attracts customers with her vibrant displays of fresh fruits and vegetables and her friendly,
Right.
welcoming demeanor.
Hmm.
Not rocket science,
Yeah.
but it's effective.
It's the little things that make a big difference,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's about showing up consistently,
Uh-huh.
being authentic,
Right.
and creating a positive experience for your customers.
Exactly. And I think that ties back to Mukoma's message about investing in your brand. It's not always about spending a fortune on advertising.
Yeah.
It's about being willing to put in the time,
Yeah.
effort, and resources to create something truly special.
And that investment can pay off in so many ways,
Right.
from increased customer loyalty to a stronger brand reputation to a more fulfilling and impactful business.
Exactly. And, as we wrap up this deep dive into brand building mindset,
Yeah.
I can't help but feel inspired by Mukoma's final message.
Yeah.
He's not just giving us a blueprint for building a brand.
Right.
He's challenging us to step into our power and create something meaningful.
He's saying it's your time to shine, and I, for one, am ready to take on that challenge.
Me too.
Yeah.
This book has given us so much to think about and so many practical strategies to put into action.
I hope everyone listening feels empowered to go out there and start building something amazing.
Yes.
Whether you're launching a new business, revamping an existing brand, or simply looking to make a greater impact in the world, the principles we've discussed today can help you achieve your goals.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for more inspiration or guidance along the way,
Right.
be sure to check out Ben Mukoma's book, Brand Building Mindset, and follow Kenyan Graphic on Instagram for even more branding wisdom.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. I'm feeling so motivated and ready to take my brand to the next level. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and remember, you've got this.